welcome. You're watching Power Breakfast here on CNBC-TV18. I'm Sonal Bhutra and this is news coming in from Mumbai News Center. Well, a lot that we need to track, but first up, as always, let's take a look at what's happening in the Asian markets. Well, the Hong Kong markets are shut again for a holiday, so we don't have any cues coming in from there. But the Taiwanese markets up and about 0.7% gains is what we are seeing in the Taiwanese markets. And across the Asian markets, it's green across the Asian screen today because China has eased some restrictions, no quarantine rules for travelers coming from abroad from 8th of Jan. And this is something which has propelled the markets higher, and that is something we can see across the Asian markets as well. Kospi is up 0.6%. We have Nikkei sitting with gains of 0.5%. Shanghai too is high by 0.5%. And as a result of all of this, SGX Nifty is indicating that yes, the start could be in the green, but it is not as massive as the other indices are indicating. Remember, it was a massive rally that we saw yesterday as well, much higher than what SGX Nifty was indicating. Let's see which way things go today. And yes, lack of global cues in terms of the US markets as well. So yes, Asian market cues is something that we'll be watching out for. That's the global market action. How will these overnight cues impact our own markets? We have our research team joining in with what the trade setup looks like, the stocks that are likely to be in the news, and the action from the F&O space as well. Hey guys, a very good morning to all of you. Vivek, let me come across to you first. Not many cues from the global markets. US was shut. Even Europe did not have any cues coming in. So what are the market cues we need to watch out for today?
Well, good morning. Absolutely right. Most of US as well as European markets are on, celebrating their Christmas holidays and the Christmas break. So what actually happened was that US markets were shut yesterday. Some positive cues, if you could read into it, given the fact that the US Dow futures are indicating a mild gap up, in early start today. Now, also talking about European markets were closed. Most of these markets will be closed today as well. So I expect them to start trading from Wednesday. Now, talking about crude oil prices, now this is something that we need to keep an eye out for. The rally that we saw in crude oil prices has continued. Yesterday, we had indicated that, Russia indicating a cap as far as their output was concerned has caused a rally in crude oil prices. This has continued. So Brent futures now trading over $84 a barrel, and WTI futures too has now started trading over $80 a barrel. Now, coming to the Indian markets, yesterday was one day where we saw a very sharp rebound from last week's intense selling pressure that we witnessed. And in fact, the rebound was actually led by the sectors that actually saw the biggest cuts in last week's session. So the PSU banking index, the banking index saw, led the recovery. Mid-cap as well as the smaller cap actually outperformed the benchmark indices after quite a bit of time. So it'll be interesting to see whether this particular trend continues. The Nifty closed above the 18,000 level. So again, that'll be an important level to watch out for. Like you mentioned, China opening up, China relaxing the quarantine measures as far as inbound travel is concerned, has kept Asian markets in the green. SGX Nifty 2 is indicating a mildly positive start to our own markets.
Okay, all right. So those are all the cues for the trade today. Thanks a lot, Vivek, for that. Now over to Surbhi. She'll list out all the stocks that will be in focus today. Surbhi?
Hi, good morning. Thanks for that. So I have a few stocks on my watch list today. The first one is HEG, where the company has incorporated a wholly owned subsidiary, TACC, which will manufacture graphite anode for lithium-ion cells. Next is Time Technoplast, where the company has received an order worth 75 crores from Adani Total Gas for supply of CNG cascades. The delivery of cascades will begin from January of 2023. Next is NTPC, where the company signs an MOU with Technimont to explore green methanol production. And lastly, IRB Inwit. The toll connection on IRB Amritsar Toll Road has been temporarily suspended. This is because of farmers' agitation in the state of Punjab.
Okay, all right, Surbhi, thank you so much for joining us with all those details. And finally, Manglam is joining in with all the cues from the F&O space this morning. Hey, Manglam.
Good morning. So, yesterday we did see a strong bounce from the lows, and there was no two ways about it. The mid-cap index reclaimed almost 70% of Friday's loss as well. Let's take a look at the cash market flows then. The FIs sold about 500 crores in the cash market. The DIIs bought about 1,300 odd crores. But that's really nothing to write home about, primarily because FII gross volumes were just about 30% of the daily average. So what fueled the rally? It was short covering that fueled the rally yesterday. Why is that? Because, we did see a fair amount of shorts covering their positions. The question is where we go from there, because yesterday towards the end that short covering did fizzle out a tad. The Nifty corrected about 70 points from the highs. The Nifty Bank also about 215 points. So let's talk about the short covering itself. The FII has covered around 12,000 short contracts in index futures, and as a result of which their longs moved slightly higher from 44% to 47%. But remember, they're still net short on index futures. We saw a lot of call writing in the previous trading session, and those call writers had to unwind their positions after a big up move that we saw yesterday. So 61,000 call contracts, short call contracts were covered, and on the other hand, we saw writing of 1.3 lakh put contracts, and that is something that will give bulls some confidence. We were talking about this during the day that we did see a fair amount of short covering in the 18,000 call and the 18,100 call, whereas at the same time we did see a fair amount of writing at the 18,000 put and the 17,800 and 17,900 puts as well. So that's telling you that there is strong support that the market sees between 17,850 to around 17,900 itself. And technically that ties in too, because the Nifty 100-day moving average was captured yesterday, reclaimed 17,848 is where it stands at. But on the way up, yesterday's high, which was closer to that 18,100 and 18,200, which is the 50-day moving average, may be a bit of a resistance, and that may come in play because of oil, which is closer to that $84.50 per barrel. For the Nifty Bank, 42,230 is what the 50-day moving average is. We conquered that yesterday, and 43,200 is the 20-day moving average. Let's see whether we go above that or not, or whether that faces resistance as well.
Yes, important levels to watch out for. Mangalam, Surbi and Vivek, thank you so much for joining us and prepping us up for this trading day ahead.